So hello everyone, today in this video we will read the chapter number 7, Transport and Communication, from the book Fundamentals of Human Geography, NCERT textbook for class 12. So let's get started. Chapter number 7, Transport and Communication. Natural resources, economic activities and markets are rarely found in one place. Transport, communication and trade establish links between producing centers and consuming centers. The system of mass production and exchange is complex. Each region produces the items for which it is best suited. Trade or the exchange of such commodities relies on transport and communication. Likewise, the high living standards and quality of life depend on efficient transport, communications and trade. In earlier days, the means of transport and communication were the same, but today both have acquired distinct and specialized forms. Transport provides the network of links and carries through which trade takes place. Next point is transport. Transport is a service or facility for the carriage of persons and goods from one place to the other using humans, animals and different kinds of vehicles. Such movements take place over land, water and air. Roads and railways form part of land transport, while shipping and waterways and airways are the other two modes. Pipelines carry materials like petroleum, natural gas and ores in liquefied form. Moreover, transport is an organized service industry created to satisfy the basic needs of society. It includes transport arteries, vehicles to carry people and goods, and the organization to maintain arteries and to handle loading, unloading and delivery. Every nation has developed various kinds of transportation for defense purposes. Assured and speedy transportation along with efficient communication promote cooperation with unity among scattered peoples. Next point, what is transport network? Several places, that is nodes, joined together by a series of routes or links to form a pattern. Next point, modes of transportation. The principal modes of world transportation, as already mentioned, are land, water, air and pipelines. These are used for interregional and intra-regional transport, and each one except pipelines carries both passengers and freight. The significance of a mode depends on the type of goods and services to be transported, costs of transport and the mode available. International movement of goods is handled by ocean freighters. Road transport is cheaper and faster over short distances and for door-to-door services. Railways are most suited for large volumes of bulky materials over long distances within a country. High value, light and perishable goods are best moved by airways. In a well-managed transport system, these various modes complement each other. Land transport. Most of the movement of goods and services takes place over land. In early days, humans themselves were carriers. Have you ever seen a bride being carried on a palki or dolly by 4 persons or kahars? In North India, later animals were used as beasts of burden. Have you seen mules, horses and camels carrying loads of cargo in rural areas? With the invention of the wheel, the use of carts and wagons became important. The revolution in transport came about only after the invention of steam engine in the 18th century. Perhaps the first public railway line was opened in 1825 between Stockton and Darlington in northern England, and then onwards the railways became the most popular and fastest form of transport in the 19th century. It opened up continental interiors for commercial grain farming, mining and manufacturing in USA. The invention of international combustion engine revolutionized road transport in terms of road quality and vehicles, or that is motor cars and trucks, flying over them. Among the newer developments in land transportation are pipelines, ropeways, cableways. Liquids like mineral oil, water, sludge and sewers are transported by pipelines. The great freight carriers are railways, ocean vessels, barges, boats and barges and boats and motor trucks and pipelines. In general, the old and elementary forms like human porter, pack animals, cart or wagon are the most expensive means of transportation, and large freighters are the cheapest. They are important in supplementing modern channels and carriers which penetrate the interiors in large countries. In the densely populated districts of India and China, overland transport still takes place by human porters or carts drawn or pushed by humans. Next point is pack animals. Horses are used as a draught animals even in the Western countries. Dogs and reindeers are used in North America, North Europe and Siberia to draw sledges over snow-covered ground. Mules are preferred in the mountainous regions, while camels are used for caravan movement in desert. In India, bullocks are used for pulling carts. Next point is roads. Road transport is the most economical for short distances compared to railways. Freight transport by road is gaining importance because it offers door-to-door service. But unmetalled roads, though simple in construction, are not effective and serviceable for all seasons. During the rainy season, these become unmotorable, and even the metalled ones are seriously handicapped during heavy rains and floods. In such conditions, the high embankment of rail tracks and the efficient maintenance of railway transport service is an effective solution. But the rail kilometrage, being small, cannot serve the needs of vast and developing countries at a low cost. Roads therefore play a vital role in a nation's trade and commerce and for promoting tourism. The quality of the roads varies greatly between developed and developing countries because road construction and maintenance require heavy expenditure. In developed countries, good quality roads are universal and provide long distance links in the form of motorways, autobahns in German, and interstate highways for speedy movement. Lorries for increasing size and power to carry heavy loads are common, but unfortunately the world's road system is not well developed. The world's total motorable road length is only about 15 million kilometers, of which North America accounts for 33%. The highest road density and highest number of vehicles are registered in this continent compared to the Western Europe. Traffic flows. Traffic on roads has increased dramatically in recent years. When the road network cannot cope with the demands of traffic, congestion occurs. City roads suffer from chronic traffic congestion. Peaks or high points and troughs or low points of traffic flow can be seen on roads at particular times of the day. For example, peaks occurring during the rush hour before and after work. Most of the cities in the world have been facing the problem of congestion. Think of these lines for a better tomorrow. Urban transport solutions, higher parking fee, mass rapid transit, improved public bus service, expressways. Next point is highways. Highways are metal roads connecting distant places. They are constructed in a manner for unobstructed vehicular movement. As such, these are 80-meter wide with separate traffic lanes, bridges, flyovers and dual carriageways to facilitate uninterrupted traffic flow. In developed countries, every city and port town is linked through highways. In North America, highway density is high, about 0.65 km per square kilometer. Every place is within 20 km distance from a highway. Cities located on the Pacific coast on west are well connected with those of the Atlantic coast or east. Likewise, the cities of Canada in north are linked with those of Mexico in the south. The Trans-Canadian Railway links Vancouver in British Columbia west coast to St. John City in Newfoundland east coast, and the Alaskan Highway links Edmonton in Canada to Anchorage in Alaska. The Pan-American Highway, a large portion of which has been constructed, will connect the countries of South America, Central America and USA, Canada. The Trans-Continental Stuart Highway connects Darwin in North Coast and Melbourne via Tennant Creek and Alice Springs in Australia. Europe has a large number of vehicles and a well-developed highway network, but highways face a lot of competition from railways and waterways. In Russia, a dense highway network is developed in the industrialized region of west of the Urals, with Moscow as the hub. The important Moscow-Vladivostok highway serves the region to the east. Due to the vast geographical area, highways in Russia are not as important as railways. In China, highways crisscross the country, connecting all major cities such as Guangzhou near Vietnam boundary, Shanghai, central China, and Guangzhou in south and Beijing in north. A new highway links Chengdu with Lhasa in Tibet. In India, there are many highways linking the major towns and cities. The Golden Quadrilateral or Super Expressway connect the four metropolitan cities New Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. In Africa, a highway joins Algiers in the north to Conakry in Vienna. Similarly, Cairo is also connected to Cape Town. Next point is border roads. Roads laid along international boundaries are called border roads. They play an important role in integrating people in remote areas with major cities and providing defense. Almost all countries have such roads to transport goods to border villages and military camps. Next point is railways. Railways are a mode of land transport for bulky goods and passengers over long distances. The railway gauges vary in different countries and are roughly classified as broad, that is more than 1.5 meter, standard, that is 1.44 meter, and meter gauge, that is 1 meter, and smaller gauges. The standard gauge is used in the UK. Commuter trains are very popular in UK, USA, Japan and India. These carry millions of passengers daily to and fro in the city. There are about 13 lakh kilometers of railways open for traffic in the world. Europe has one of the most dense railway network in the world. There are about 4,40,000 kilometers of railways, most of which is double or multiple tracked. Belgium has highest density of 1 kilometer of railway for every 6.5 square kilometers area. The industrial regions exhibit some of the highest densities in the world. The important railheads are London, Paris, Brussels, Milan, Berlin, Warsaw. Passenger transport is more important than freight in many of these countries. Underground railways are important in London and Paris. Channel Tunnel, operated by Eurotunnel Group through England, connects London with Paris. Trans-Continental railway lines have now lost their importance to quicker and more flexible transport systems of airways and roadways. In Russia, railways account for about 90% of the country's total transport, with a very dense network west of the Urals. Moscow is the most important railhead, with major lines radiating to different parts of the country's vast geographical area. Underground railways and commuter trains are also important in Moscow. North America has one of the most extensive rail networks, accounting for nearly 40% of the world's total. In contrast to many European countries, the railways are used for more long distances. Bulky freight like ores, grains, timber and machinery than from passenger. The most dense railway network is found in highly industrialized, urbanized region of east central USA and adjoining Canada. In Canada, railways are in the public sector and distributed all over the sparsely populated areas. The Trans-Continental Railway carry the bulk of wheat and coal tonnage. Australia has about 40,000 kilometers of railways, of which 20% are found in New South Wales alone. The East-West Australian National Railway line runs across the country from Perth to Sydney. New Zealand's railways are mainly in the North Island to serve the farming areas. In South America, the rail network is most dense in two regions, namely the Pampas of Argentina and the coffee-growing region of Brazil, which together account for 40% of South America's total route length. Only Chile, among the remaining countries, has a considerable route length linking coastal centers with the mining sites in the interior. Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Colombia and Venezuela have short single-track rail lines from ports to the interior with no interconnecting links. There is only one transcontinental rail route linking Buenos Aires in Argentina with Valparaiso in Chile, across the Andes Mountains through the Uspallata Pass, located at a height of 3,900 meters. In Asia, rail network is the most dense in thickly populated areas of Japan, China and India. Other countries have relatively few rail routes, West Asia is the least developed in rail facilities because of vast deserts and sparsely populated regions. Africa continent, despite being the second largest, has only 40,000 kilometers of railways, with South Africa alone accounting for 18,000 kilometers due to concentration of gold, diamond and copper mining activities. The important routes of the continent are Benguela Railway through Angola to Katanga, Zambia copper belt, the Tanzania Railway from the Zambian copper belt to Dar es Salaam on the coast, the railway through Botswana and Zimbabwe, linking landlocked states to the South African network, the blue trains from Cape Town to Pretoria in the Republic of South Africa, elsewhere as in Algeria, Senegal, Nigeria, Kenya and Ethiopia. Railway lines connect port cities to interior centers but do not form a good network with other countries. Transcontinental railways. Transcontinental railways run across the continent and link its two ends. They were constructed for economic and political reasons to facilitate long runs in different directions. The following are the most important of these. Trans-Siberian railways. This is a Trans-Siberian railway. Major rail route of Russia runs from St. Petersburg in the west to Vladivostok on the Pacific coast, in the east passing through Moscow. Ufa, Novosibirsk, Irkutsk, Chita and Kharkovsk. It is the most important route in Asia and longest, that is 9,332 km double tracked and electrified transcontinental railway in the world. It has helped in opening up its Asian region to the West European markets. It runs across the Ural Mountains of Ob Inisi River. Chita is an important agro center and Irkutsk for far centers. There are connecting links to the south, namely to Odessa in Ukraine, Baku on the Caspian coast, Tashkent in Uzbekistan, Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, and Shenyang in Mukden and Beijing in China. Trans-Canadian Railway. This 7,050 km long rail line in Canada runs from Halifax in the east to Vancouver on the Pacific coast, passing through Montreal, Ottawa, Winnipeg and Calgary. It was constructed in 1886 initially as a port of agreement to make British Columbia on the west coast join the Federation of States. Later on, it gained economic significance because it connected Quebec-Montreal industrial region with the wheat belt of the Prairie region and the coniferous forest region in the north. Thus, each of these regions became complementary to the other. A loop line from Winnipeg to Thunder Bay, Lake Superior connects this rail line with one of the important waterways of the world. This line is the economic artery of Canada. Wheat and meat are the important exports on this route. The Union and Pacific Railway. This rail line connects New York on the Atlantic coast and San Francisco on the Pacific coast, passing through Cleveland, Chicago, Omaha, Evans, Ogden and Sacramento. The most valuable exports on these routes are ores, grains, paper, chemicals and machinery. The Australian Trans-Continental Railway. This rail line runs east-west across the southern part of the continent, from Perth on the west to Sydney on the east coast. passing through Karguril, Broken Hill, Port Augusta. Another major north-south line connects Adelaide and Alice Spring to be joined further to the Darwin-Birdam line. The Orient Express. This line runs from Paris to Istanbul, passing through Strasbourg, Munich, Vienna, Budapest and Belgrade. The journey time from London to Istanbul by this express is now reduced to 96 hours as against 10 days by the sea route. The chief exports on this rail route are cheese, bacon, oats, wine, fruits and machinery. There is a proposal to build Trans-Asiatic Railway linking Istanbul with Bangkok via Iran, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh and Myanmar. Next point is water transport. One of the great advantages of water transportation is it does not require route construction. The oceans are linked with each other and are negotiable with ships of various sizes. All that is needed is to provide port facilities at the two ends. It is much cheaper because of the friction of water is far less than that of land. The energy cost of water transportation is lower. Water transport is divided into sea routes and inland waterways. Next point is sea routes. The oceans offer a smooth highway traversable in all directions with no maintenance cost. Its transformation into a routeway by sea-going vessels is an important development in human adaptation to the physical environment. Compared to land and air, ocean transport is a cheaper means of haulage or carrying of load of bulky material over long distances from one continent to another. Modern passenger lines, that is ships and cargo ships, are equipped with radar, wireless and other navigation aids. The development of refrigerated chambers for perishable goods, tankers and specialized ships has also improved cargo transport. The use of containers has made cargo handling at the world's major ports easier. Important sea routes. Major sea routes are shown in figure 7.9. Some important routes have been discussed in the following pages. The North Atlantic Sea route. This links the northeastern USA and northwestern Europe, the two industrially developed regions of the world. The foreign trade over this route is greater than that of the rest of the world combined. 1/4 of the world's foreign trade moves on this route. It is therefore the busiest in the world and otherwise called the Big Trunk Road. Both the coasts have highly advanced port and harbor facilities. Next point is the Mediterranean Indian Ocean Sea Route. This sea route passes through the heart of old world and serves more countries and people than any other route. Port Said, Aden, Mumbai, Colombo and Singapore are some of the important ports on this route. The construction of Suez Canal has greatly reduced the distance and time as compared to earlier route through the Cape of Good Hope, which was longer than the route through Suez Canal, the Cape of Good Hope Sea Route. This trade route connects the highly industrialized Western European region with West Africa, South Africa, Southeast Asia and the commercial agriculture and livestock economies of Australia and New Zealand. The volume of trade and traffic between the both East and West Africa is on the increase due to development of rich natural resources such as gold, diamond, copper, tin, groundnut, oil palm, coffee and fruits. The Southern Atlantic Sea Route. This sea route is another important one across the Atlantic Ocean, which connects the West European and West African countries with Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay in South America. The traffic is far less on this route because of limited development and population in South America and Africa. Only southeastern Brazil and Plata estuary and parts of South Africa have large-scale industries. There is also little traffic on the route between Rio de Janeiro and Cape Town because both South America and Africa have similar products and resources. The North Pacific Sea Route. Trade across the vast North Pacific Ocean moves by several routes which converge at Honolulu. The direct route on the Great Circle links Vancouver and Yokohama and reduces the traveling distances 2,480 km by half. This sea route links the ports on the west coast of North America with those of Asia. These are Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco and Los Angeles on the American side, and Yokohama, Kobe, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Manila and Singapore in the Asian side. The South Pacific Sea Route. This sea route connects Western Europe and North America with Australia, New Zealand and scattered Pacific islands via the Panama Canal. This route is also used for reaching Hong Kong, Philippines and Indonesia. The distance covered between Panama and Sydney is 12,000 km and Honolulu is an important port on this route. Next point is coastal shipping. It is obvious that water transport is cheaper mode. While oceanic routes connect different countries, coastal shipping is a convenient mode of transportation with long coastlines. That is USA, China and India. Schengen states in Europe are the most suitably placed for coastal shipping, connecting one member's coast with the other. If properly developed, coastal shipping can reduce the congestion on the land routes. Next point is shipping canals. The Suez and Panama Canals are two vital man-made navigation canals or waterways which serve as gateways of commerce for both Eastern and Western world. The Suez Canal. This canal has been constructed in 1869 in Egypt between Port Said in north and Port Suez in south, linking the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. It gives Europe a new gateway to Indian Ocean and reduces direct sea route distance between Liverpool and Colombo compared to the Cape of Good Hope route. This is a sea level canal without locks and about 160 km and 11 to 15 meter deep. About 100 ships travel daily and each ship takes 10 to 12 hours to cross this canal. The tolls are so heavy that some find it cheaper to go by the longer Cape route whenever the consequent delay is not important. A railway follows the canal to Suez and from Ismailia there is a branch line to Cairo. A navigable freshwater canal from Nile also joins the Suez Canal in Ismailia to supply fresh water to Port Said and Suez. The Panama Canal. The canal connects the Atlantic Ocean in the east to the Pacific Ocean to the west. It has been constructed across the Panama Isthmus between Panama City and Colon by US government, which purchased 8 km of area on either side and named it as Canal Zone. The canal is about 72 kilometer long and involves a very deep cutting for a length of 12 kilometer. It has a 6 lock systems. And ship across different levels, 26 meter up and down through these locks before entering the Gulf of Panama. It shortens the distance between New York and San Francisco by 13,000 kilometers by sea. Likewise, the distance between Western Europe and the west coast of USA and northeastern central USA and East and Southeast Asia is shortened. The economic significance is relatively less than that of Suez. However, it is vital to economies of Latin America. Next point is inland waterways. Inland waterways, rivers, canals, lakes, coastal areas have been important waterways since time immemorial. Boats and steamers are used as means of transport for cargo and passengers. The development of inland waterways is dependent on the navigability, width, depth of channel, continuity in the water flow and transport technology in use. Rivers are the only means of transport in dense forests. Very heavy cargo like coal, cement, timber, metallic ores can be transported through inland waterways. In ancient times, riverways were the main highways of transportation, as in the case of India, but they lost importance because of competition from railways, lack of water due to diversion of irrigation and their poor maintenance. The significance of rivers as inland waterways for domestic and international transport and trade has been recognized throughout the developed world. Despite inherent limitations, many rivers have been modified to enhance their navigability by dredging, stabilizing river banks and building dams and barrages for regulating the flow of water. The following river waterways are some of the world's important highways of commerce. The Rhine waterways. The Rhine flows through Germany and Netherlands. It is navigable for 700 kilometers from Rotterdam in its mouth in the Netherlands to Basel in Switzerland. Ocean-going vessels can reach up to Cologne. The Ruhr River joins the Rhine from the east. It flows through a rich coal field and whole basin has become a prosperous manufacturing area. Düsseldorf is the Rhine port for this region. Huge tonnage moves along the stretch south of Ruhr. This waterway is world's most heavily used. Each year more than 20,000 ocean-going ships and 2 lakhs inland vessels exchange their cargoes. It connects industrial areas of Switzerland, Germany, France, Belgium, Netherlands with that of North Atlantic Sea route. Next point is the Danube waterway. This important inland waterway serves Eastern Europe. The Danube River rises in the Black Forest and flows eastward through many countries. It is navigable up to Trans-Siberian. The chief export items are wheat, maize, timber and machinery. Next point is the Volga waterway. Russia has a large number of developed waterways, of which the Volga is one of the most important. It provides navigable waterways of 11,200 kilometers and drains into Caspian Sea. The Volga-Moscow Canal connects it with the Moscow region and Volga-Don Canal with the Black Sea. The Great Lakes, the St. Lawrence Seaways. The Great Lakes of North America, Superior, Huron, Erie and Ontario are connected by Sioux Canal and Welland Canal to form an inland waterways. The estuary of St. Lawrence River along with Great Lakes forms a unique commercial waterways in the northern part of North America. The port and the ports on this route like Duluth and Buffalo are equipped with all facilities to ocean ports. As such, large ocean going vehicles are able to navigate up the river deep inside the continent to Montreal. But here goods have to be transshipped to smaller vessels due to presence of rapids. Channels have been constructed up to 3.5 meter deep to avoid this. Next point is the Mississippi Waterways. The Mississippi Ohio Waterway connects the interior part of USA with the Gulf of Mexico in the south. Large steamers can go through this route up to Minneapolis. Next point is air transport. Air transport is the fastest means of transportation, but it is very costly. Being fast, it is preferred by passengers for long distance travel. Valuable cargo can be moved rapidly on a worldwide scale. It is often the only means to reach inaccessible areas. Air transport has brought about a connectivity revolution in the world. The friction created by mountains, snowfields, or inhospitable desert terrains have been overcome. This accessibility has increased. The airplane brings varied articles to the Eskimos in North Canada unhindered by the frozen ground. In the Himalayan region, the routes are often obstructed due to landslides, avalanches, and heavy snowfall. At such times, air travel is the only alternative to reach a place. Airways also have great strategic importance. The air strikes by US and the British forces in Iraq bears testimony to this fact that airway network is expanding very fast. The manufacturing of aircrafts and their operations require elaborate infrastructure like hangars, landing, fueling, and maintenance facilities for the aircrafts. The construction of airports is also very expensive and has developed more in highly industrialized countries where there is a large volume of traffic. At present, no place in the world is more than 35 hours away. This startling fact has been made possible due to people who build and fly airplanes. Travel by air can now be measured by hours and minutes instead of years and months. Frequent air services are available to many parts of the world, although UK pioneered the use of commercial jet transport. USA developed largely post-war international civil aviation. Today, more than 250 commercial airlines offer regular services to developments can change the future course of air transport. Supersonic aircraft covered the distance between London and New York within 3.5 hours. Next point is intercontinental air route. In the northern hemisphere, there is a distinct east-west belt of intercontinental air routes. Dense network exists in eastern USA, western Europe, and Southeast Asia. USA alone accounts for 60% of the airways of the world. New York, London, Paris, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Rome, Moscow, Karachi, New Delhi, Mumbai, Bangkok, Singapore, Tokyo, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Chicago are the nodal points where air routes converge or radiate to all continents. Africa, Asiatic port of Russia, and South America lack air services. There are limited air services between 10 to 35 degree latitude in the southern hemisphere due to sparser population, limited land masses, and economic development. Next point is pipelines. Pipelines are used extensively to transport liquids and gases such as water, petroleum, natural gas for an uninterrupted flow. Water supplied through pipelines is familiar to all. Cooking gas or LPG is supplied through pipeline in many parts of the world. Pipelines can also be used to transport liquefied coal. In New Zealand, milk is being supplied through pipeline from farms to factories. In USA, there is a dense network of oil pipelines from the producing areas to the consuming areas. Big Inch is one such famous pipeline which carries petroleum from the oil wells of Gulf of Mexico to the northeastern states. About 70% of all freight per ton kilometer is carried through pipelines in USA. In Europe, Russia, West Asia and India, pipelines are used to connect oil wells to refineries and to ports or domestic markets. Turkmenistan in Central Asia has extended pipelines to Iran and also to parts of China. The proposed Iran-India via Pakistan International Oil and Natural Gas Pipeline will be the longest in the world. Next point is communication. Human beings have used different methods long distance communication, of which the telegraph and the telephone were important. The telegraph was instrumental in the colonization of American West. During the early and mid 12th century, the American Telegraph and Telephone Company enjoyed a monopoly over USA's telephone industry. In fact, the telephone became a critical factor in the urbanization of America. Firms centralized their functioning at city headquarters and located their branch offices in smaller towns. Even today, the telephone is the most commonly used mode. In developing countries, the use of cell phones made possible by satellites is important for rural connectivity. Today, there is a phenomenal pace of development. The first major breakthrough is the use of optic fiber cables. Faced with mounting competition, telephone companies all over the world soon upgraded their copper cable systems to include optic fiber cables. These allow large quantities of data to be transmitted rapidly, securely, and are virtually error-free. With the digitization of information in the 1990s, telecommunications slowly merged with computers to form integrated networks termed as Internet. Next point is satellite communication. Today, Internet is the largest electronic network on the planet, connecting about 1,000 million people in more than 100 countries. Satellites touch human lives in many ways. Every time you use a cell phone to call a friend, send a message, or watch a popular program on cable television, you are using satellite communication. Communication through satellites emerged as a new area in communication technology since the 1970s, after USA and former USSR pioneered space research. Artificial satellites now are successfully deployed in the Earth's orbit to connect even the remote corners of the globe with limited on-site verification. These have rendered the unit cost and time of communication invariant in terms of distance. This means it costs the same to communicate over 500 km as it does over 5,000 km via satellite. India has also made great strides in satellite development. Aryabhat was launched on 19th April 1975, Bhaskar 1 in 1979 and Rohini in 1980. On 19th June 1981, Apple or Ariane passenger payload experiment was launched through Ariane rocket. Bhaskar, Challenger and INSAT 1B have made long distance communication, television and radio very effective. Today, weather forecasting through television is a boom. Next point is cyberspace or internet. Cyberspace in the world of electronic computerized space. It is encompassed by the internet such as the World Wide Web. In simple words, it is the electronic digital world for communicating or accessing information over computer networks without physical movement of the sender and the receiver. It is also referred to as the internet. Cyberspace exists everywhere. It may be in an office, sailing boat, flying plane and virtually anywhere. The speed at which the electronic network has spread is unprecedented in human history. There were less than 50 million internet users in 1995, about 400 million in 2000 and over 2 billion in 2010 and about 5.4 billion in 2023. In the last few years, there has been a shift among global users from USA to the developing countries. The percentage share of USA has dropped from 66 in 1995 to only 25% in 2005. Now the majority of the world's users are in USA, UK, Germany, Japan, China and India. As billions use the internet each year, cyberspace will expand the contemporary economic and social space of humans through email, e-commerce, e-learning, e-governance. Internet together with fax, television and radio will be accessible more and more people cutting across the place and time. This is the modern communication system more than transportation that has made the concept of global village a reality. So thank you for listening. This is for today. Thanks.